All right, today we're going to take those DevOps learning notes of yours and turn them into a masterclass on a skill you absolutely need, adding a brand new disk to a Linux server. We'll go from a disk that the system can't even see all the way to a fully formatted and usable volume. Let's jump right in with the very first problem you're likely to face. So picture this. You've physically connected a new drive, or maybe you've just attached a new virtual disk to your VM. You log in, you're ready to get to work, but where is it? You look around and there's nothing new. Let's solve that puzzle right now. And this right here is the core of the problem. You can plug in all the hardware you want, but a server's operating system doesn't always just automatically notice it. It's not like plugging a thumb drive into your laptop. We actually have to tell it, hey, go look for new stuff. To find our missing disk, we need to play detective, and we've got some great tools in our toolkit. The first one you should always reach for is LSBLK. It's modern, clean, and it lists all your blocked devices. We can also peek into the kernel's diary with dmesg to see if it even tried to detect the hardware. And of course, there's the classic fdisk-L. But what happens if none of these show our new disk? Now here's where things get real. In a true DevOps environment, you're not rebooting servers just for fun. I mean, imagine a critical database server is running low on space. You can't just shut it down. You're hot adding disks to live running systems. This is a super common scenario, and it requires a very special command. I know, this command looks like a cat walked across your keyboard, but trust me, it's not that scary. All we're doing is telling every single storage controller on the system, every host, to please rescan for new devices. That triple dash part, it's just a simple wildcard that says check every channel, every target, and every LUN. In plain English, it just means scan everything. And boom, just like that. After you run that rescan command, you run lsblock again, and there it is. You'll see a brand new device pop up, probably called /dev/sdb or /dev/sdc. Success! Our disk is now visible to the operating system, and we can finally start working with it. So we have a raw, empty disk, but we can't just start throwing files on it yet. The next step is called partitioning. Think of it like this. You just bought an empty plot of land. Partitioning is the step where you draw up the blueprints. You decide where the house goes, where the garage goes, and where you'll put the garden. Now, before we draw those blueprints, we have to make a big decision. What style are we using? The old way is MBR, Master Boot Record. It's been around forever, but look at those limitations. It can't handle disks bigger than 2 terabytes, and you only get 4 primary partitions. Then there's the modern standard, GPT, or GUID partition table. It supports disks so large the number is almost meaningless, and way more partitions than you'll ever need. So the takeaway here is really, really simple. Unless you are working on an ancient system or have a very specific compatibility reason to use MBR, just don't. Always choose GPT. It's the modern, future-proof standard for pretty much everything you'll be doing. Okay, for this next part, we're going to roll up our sleeves and use a real classic, the battle-tested fdisk tool, to create our first partition. Honestly, learning your way around this command line tool is a rite of passage for any Linux admin. Let's do it. Using fdisk is like having a simple conversation with your computer. You start it up, point it at your disk. Then you press N for a new partition. You can usually just accept the defaults for the size. Then you might press T to set the partition type. And finally, the most important step of all, you press W to write those changes to the disk and make them permanent. So you've hit W in fdisk, the changes are saved. You're done, right? You can move on? Not quite. And this next step is where so many beginners get stuck. It's absolutely vital you don't forget this. And the magic command that saves the day is partprobe. All this does is tell the Linux kernel, hey, that disk's blueprint just changed. Go take another look at it right now. If you skip this, the operating system is still working with the old empty blueprint, and your new partition like /dev/sdb1 is completely invisible to it. All right, let's get to the final phase. We have a partition, the kernel can see it. It's like we've built a room in our house. But right now, that room is empty. It's just bare walls. No floors, no paint, no shelves. We need to prepare it to actually hold our stuff. And this is exactly where formatting comes in. Formatting creates what's called a file system, which is the underlying structure that organizes all of your data. It's literally like installing the shelving system in a library so you can finally start putting books away in an organized way.
For this, we'll use the mkfs.xfs command, which is short for Make File System of Type XFS. XFS is a really high-performance, modern file system. It's the default on systems like Red Hat and CentOS for a good reason. And the command is super simple. We just point it at our new partition, /dev/sdb1.
Okay, the shelves are installed. Now we just need to give our library an address. First, we create an empty directory somewhere, let's say /data. This is our mount point. Then we use the simple mount command to attach our newly formatted partition directly to that directory.
And that's it, we're done. You can prove it with the df-h command, which shows you your disk usage. You'll see dev/sdb1 is now mounted on data with all of its space available and ready for your files.
Now that we know how to do it, let's talk about how to do it safely. You know, working with disks is incredibly powerful, which means you can also cause a whole lot of damage if you're not careful. These are the rules you need to live by.
Rule number 1 is going to save you so much frustration. Forgetting to run part probe right after fdisk will make you think your changes didn't work. You might try again, or worse, you might reboot the whole server for no reason. Just make it a habit. Fdisk, then immediately part probe. Okay, this one is absolutely critical. Modifying a partition that's currently mounted and in use, that's like trying to replace the foundation of a house while people are still living inside. It's a recipe for disaster. You risk total data corruption. Always unmount the file system first with umount.
And finally, the ultimate sysadmin mantra. These commands don't ask you, are you sure? They assume you know what you're doing. A simple typo, typing SDA instead of SDB, could wipe out your entire operating system. So measure twice, cut once. Double-check your device names, and if there's any data you can't afford to lose, back it up before you even think about starting.
Phew, that was a lot, I know. So let's put it all together. This slide right here is your cheat sheet for the entire process. From finding the disk to mounting it, these 6 commands cover the whole workflow. I seriously recommend pausing here, taking a screenshot. This is everything you need in one place.
So, you've now officially mastered adding a single disk to Linux. But what if you need to add more space to a file system that's already full without any downtime? Or what if you want to take 3 smaller physical disks and combine them into one giant flexible storage pool? For that, we need to explore the Logical Volume Manager, or LVM. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle in our next explainer.